Mike, thanks for your time. I'm sorry we kept you waiting, freezing. Snow is all around us here. But, Mike, I just wanted to get your impressions. I mean, I've been asking everyone that we've been talking to just to get their sense. And the message I keep hearing is positive, positive. But in journalism, we say, come on, there's got to be another side. What have you been hearing?
Yeah, so certainly, I always enjoy coming to Davos. I think of it as a little bit of an intellectual workout with the fantastic cross-section of people you get to interact with. I certainly think the mood this year is significantly better than last year. Last year was very downbeat, a lot of concern about pretty much most areas of the globe. And this year, really the concerns are focused on Europe. With America looking a little bit more positive, and in fact very strong stories continuing to come out of Africa and Asia. So it's not positive right across the board, but it seems to me that the negativity is more confined to Europe as opposed to being broad spread.
The interesting thing for me, I was passing by and I just eavesdropped and heard this guy talking to another guy, and he says this is the most intense Davos that he has ever attended. But Mike, one of the industries that has been, if I can put it this way, in trouble is the banking industry. And one story I saw today suggested that what is also being questioned here is the banking model, where it's low capital and high leverage. Do you think coming out of Davos, coming out of this recession, we're going to see the banking model change, and in which direction, from some of the lessons that you've also had here?
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. I think what we've got to be really careful about, though, is putting all banks into the same conversation. So certainly there were some banks that had extremely high levels of leverage, 50, 60, perhaps even more times leverage than that, and very low levels of high quality capital underneath that. Certainly what all of the regulatory changes that are already embodied in Basel III are all about is reducing that leverage, increasing the quality of capital, and also increasing the liquidity pools. So, certainly if I looked at our business, the highest our leverage ever got to was probably 17 or 18 times, and we're now down at 14 or 15. So I don't think that any of the regulation coming out there is going to have any effect on our leverage, which never got to those levels.
I asked this question of Maria. The guys that you've been talking to in the sessions that you've been attending, the guys that you talk on a bilateral basis, what are they saying to you when they talk about the African opportunity, as we have been hearing all around here?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly increasing interest in the African opportunity. Capital chases growth, and there are really two pools of growth in the world, and that's Africa and Asia. I think people understand the mineral story in Africa, the exports into Asia, but what I think is getting people really excited is the story after the minerals. So that is the development of infrastructure in Africa, the growth of a middle class in Africa, and I think that's certainly what the investors are interested in trying to get into.
What cross-section of investors are interested in Africa? If you can just give us at least a broad stroke of the kind of people that are talking to you.
Yeah, so it's always difficult to tell exactly where people are from or what their investment style is when they're talking to you. But certainly generally what we've seen is increased interest by perhaps the more traditional investors. Generally it had been emerging market focused funds, etc., that have always had some sort of interest in Asia and Africa. But now we're seeing people with much more general investment mandates starting to say what percentage of their mandate should have an African flavor to it, which is fantastic.